Hi everybody, Adrienne here and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be going over some Tarte products that I've bought in the last couple of months. The most recent item that I've purchased from Tarte is the Tartelette Vault. I got this from the Tarte website. I know it can also be purchased at Sephora for $100. And in this vault, I'm going to be covering up my face to show you guys the palettes. You get 3 of the Tartelette palettes, and you get the first one, which is this one here, the first Tartelette palette, and the second one is the Tartelette In Bloom palette. I'm not sure how long that's been out, and the third one is just been released this past fall, and it's the Tartelette Toasted palette. So these end up being $100 when you buy them in this Tarte Vault, but if you bought them individually, they're $46 a piece, so it's kind of like you're getting a third palette for free. So I was really excited to get these palettes. I'm not going to be live swatching or posting swatches of all these palettes. The only one that I will show you swatches of is the palette that I'm wearing now, because I will show you how I got the eye look that I'm wearing today. And the first palette that was released, like I said, was the Tartelette palette. And I'm not quite sure how long this palette has been out. I'm going to go ahead and open it for you. It comes with this awesome size mirror, and I'm not going to blind you with the glare. And this is what the palette looks like. This palette is absolutely gorgeous. I love it because it's all mattes. And I like the shades of mattes. The rows are arranged the way you can create your eye look. Of course, you can mix it any way that you'd like, but this is just a neutral eye look, and this is more of a mauve-y eye look, and this one would be more of a taupe-ish kind of look, a neutral taupe, not such the, I wouldn't say it's like a gray brown like the typical taupe, but it's, this shade's a little bit camel here. But this is some beautiful colors if you're into matte eye looks, and this palette also smells amazing. It has a light vanilla scent. I can smell it right now. It's not at all overbearing or overpowering, and I just love these compacts. They look so elegant and classy to me, and it's got a shiny gold metallic backing to it, and it feels like it's a nice heavy weight and sturdy. And I love palettes that fit in the palm of your hands. I really like palettes that are this size. It feels like I can get into them and create an organized look quickly without putting a huge thought process into it, and it seems to have enough variety of shades that you could do that without being overwhelming. And the second palette that I'm going to get into is the Tartelette In Bloom palette, and the outside of this packaging is absolutely beautiful. It is so bright and vivid with the colors that they use for this palette, and it's also got the gold backing, and it's really classy looking. I'm not even going to bother showing you that nice size mirror that it has. This is the palette that I'm wearing right now on my eyes, so in a few minutes I will be showing you how I created this eye look, but it's also arranged in rows where you could just follow the row and create a complete look, or you can mix and match some of the rows together however you want to use it. It does have 3 shimmers in it, and the rest of the shades are mattes. I like it because it's really neutral, and it looks like this would work really well for any type of skin tone, but it does have some crease shades that are a little neutral to warm if you're somebody that feels like you need those warm transitioning shades. So this is a gorgeous palette, and in a few minutes after I talk about the next palette, I will show you how I created this look. The third palette, like I said, this is a Tartelette Toasted palette that just got released this fall, and this packaging is gorgeous with these flames on here, and it has definitely given us a fall vibe. It also has the pretty metal backing for the packaging and feels really sturdy, and it's that palm size of your hand type palette, and it's got the nice mirror just like the other ones, but this is a warm palette, hence the Toasted name. This palette is absolutely gorgeous with the toasted colors. I chose to do the other palette, the In Bloom palette, over this one first because I'm getting a little burnout on some of the warm color palettes for the fall. I feel like I've done so many of them that I didn't want my thumbnail picture to be another warm color palette, but I am truly excited about this warm color palette. And this actually has come at a really good time because for Thanksgiving, my Too Faced Peanut Butter and Jelly palette, I wore that palette and decided that I needed to give it away to someone else. Lately I've been having some allergic reaction to all the fragrance and things that are in their products, so this got to replace that palette for me. And I have worn this palette once, and I can say that I really did like the look that I created with it, but I will be doing a full review of this palette and probably doing quite a few different looks with it because there's so much variety in this palette that you can go from super ultra warm to a warm to neutral type look, and you just have so many different reddish brown shades that you can deepen your crease with that I can't wait to show you guys what this palette works like. And I also got this Tarte foundation, and it's the Tarte, and I gotta look at the box, it's the Tarte Empowered Hybrid Gel Foundation, and I did haul this a few months ago, but I am wearing this foundation now. I haven't decided if I want to go ahead and show you the application and my first thoughts on this foundation, or if I'm gonna make this footage a foundation Friday. I don't feel like I've had enough time to play in it. Today is only the second time that I've had this foundation on, and the first time I had it on, I put it on after work just to see if the color was going to match with my skin tone. So I think I had the foundation on a total of maybe half an hour. So today will be the first day that I'm actually wearing this foundation. So I may go ahead and throw it in this video and give you guys a first impression. If I do that, I feel like this video is going to be super long, so I'm not quite sure, but I am wearing this, and as usual, like the concealer that I have on, the Tarte Tape Shape Concealer is my holy grail foundation, so I always have that on, so I don't feel like that's necessarily something new. But without further ado, I want to get into this palette here, the Tartelette In Bloom palette, and show you how I created this eye look, and I will be right back. I'm going to open this up and get started. I think that I'm going to focus on these two rows here. I don't think I'm going to use much out of the top row. Maybe this color for a brow bone highlight, but this one actually looks like it will be a perfect brow bone highlight. So to get started, I'm going to take my e.l.f. contouring brush, and I'm going to go into this shade Smarty Pants here and just dab a little bit on the brush. This is how much product I have on, and I'm going to use it as kind of a base shade. And it's really going on pigmented and smooth, blending well on the eyelid to just make this a neutral tone. Take a little more product and go in on the other eye. I do like how it's blending so far. That is really a nice neutral shade. I'm not going to keep adding to it in case it does oxidize a little. Sometimes the mattes will do that and they'll turn a little bit darker than when you apply them. Like this one is already starting to look darker to me than this eye, so I may take just a smidge more and balance it out. But that is the color Smarty Pants. And the next color that I think I want to go in with is this Rebel color here. So I'm going to take the color Rebel on a tapered Jessup blending brush and just go into the crease and do a little transitioning with that shade Rebel. It's really pretty, really blending well. A little bit of product is going a long way. Getting up above that bone there as I'm contouring. Take a little bit more Rebel, go into the other side. Wow, this is really pigmented where I put the brush down, and it's blending really easily. I'm enjoying working with this palette so far. The colors are really pigmented and blending well. So let me come in a little bit more in the inner corners with the color Rebel. That is darkening up. That's why I didn't want to go too overboard with it, because the matte shades can sometimes do that. I'm looking at my lighter shades for the lid, and I'm thinking that I'm going to go in with the shade Firecracker, but I'm not sure if it's going to be too dark, so I might use Funny Girl. And I've already applied a little bit of the Firecracker on the outer part of this lid. I'm going to continue to go in with it. It's not really showing up with as big of a pop of color as I'd want, but I'm going to go ahead and get it on the other eye over here, and I'm just patting it on, and it's patting on really nice and pigmented. I try to just pat my shades on the lid so that some of the crepiness I have, the texture won't show as much if I pat it instead of rubbing it in to blend. Now I'm going to go ahead and go into Funny Girl and dab the clean side of my eye color brush in it, and oh, that is a lot brighter, a pop of color. I don't know if I'm gonna like this yellow. It's looking a little chalky to me, but I'm gonna go ahead and finish applying it and see what it looks like on both eyes. Looking at it in the palette, it does seem a little more chunkier than some of the other color. I don't know if you guys can see, I'm looking down in the viewfinder, but it seems a little bit chunky, and it's kicking up a little product compared to the other shadows I've used so far. But it is packing on very pigmented. I don't think that there's anything wrong with the shade. I just think maybe I'm not going to care for it as much as I thought on my skin tone. It's pretty bold and gold. So I'm going to go back in with this Firecracker shade here with the other side of my eye color brush and just come in the middle a little bit and try to tone it down. And not sure what I think of this. So what I will do is sit this down. I'm not sure what I'm going to do, so I think I'm going to go in with my blending brush again and take a little more Rebel to deepen the crease. I think that's about as deep as it's going to get. And I may just take this shade Leader right here and go in and create a little more dimension in the crease. And I'm going to use an e.l.f. blending brush for that. It's darkening it up just a smidge. Go in on this eye with it. Boy, the pigmentation, it's easy to get the color down and it's blending nicely, and I really don't notice that I'm having any fallout. So that's nice also. Now I'm going to stop with that, and I'm going to go ahead and take this blending brush again, and I'm going to go in and pick up the shade Activist, this dark shade here. And that's what I'm going to put on the outer V. Oh, that is really dark and pigmented. A little bit of this Activist goes a long way. I'm really liking working with this palette. The whole look is coming together so fast and easy to blend. That's the best part about working with the palette, is when you can get a look on quickly and the colors stay true to what they look like in the pan. It gets really frustrating when you are having to keep building and building, and I'm taking that Activist on that e.l.f. blending brush again and just kind of smoothing out. Now I'm going to go back in with my e.l.f. contouring brush and the color Smarty Pants. Just take a little bit more of it and blend out some of the edges up at the very top before I highlight my brow bone, just to get everything all cohesive looking. And now I'm going to take a small angled brush, and I think I'm going to use this shade here, Flower Child, to highlight my brow bone. It's very pigmented, so I'm trying to pick up a little bit because I don't want to make it look chalky. So Flower Child is working nicely for a brow bone highlights. And I think this is where I'm going to stop. Looking at it, I think this looks a little textured in here, that Funny Girl color. But I don't usually care for some of the golds that are this tone, because sometimes I think they look a little ashy on my skin tone, but I can't really tell what I'm looking at just yet until I finish my eyes. I think I'm going to go in and smoke out my bottom lash with the color Leader here down in the corner. So I'm using an IT Cosmetic smudger brush to do that with. So just adding a little bit here before I put my black liner on. Trying to determine if I want to mix this Leader shade with a little bit of Activist on the outer corner. Just smudge this all the way across, and I think I'm going to deepen it with a little bit of this Activist shade on the outer corner before I add my black liner, just to make it really smoky. Ooh, I might have gotten a little too much there. I think it's going to be okay though, just blend a little. Okay guys, I'm going to go put on my top and bottom liner and some lashes and mascara, and I will be right back. Okay Guys, my final thoughts on the Tartelette In Bloom palette, and I did go ahead and deepen up some of the crease colors, and I'm going to have to open it up to see the name of the color. I added a little more leader and activist into the crease right in here. I keep forgetting that my eyes are changing as I'm maturing and I'm getting more hooded eyelids, and I keep wanting to put my contouring color directly in the crease, not realizing you need to go way up here on your brow bone. Your brow bone is now going to be up here because of the hooded eyes. So I did intensify that a little bit in addition to putting on my liner and lashes. But I have to say I thoroughly enjoyed working with this palette. I thought the quality was awesome. And even though this color seemed a little bit chunky and kicked up a little bit of dust, I'm going to close my eyes so you can look at it. I think that the look still turned out gorgeous, and I didn't have too much kickback or fallout from this palette, which I don't typically have that even with palettes that people say do create a lot of kick back. I don't really rub in my palettes. I more tap and dab in them, so I don't have issues with that typically anyway. But I really like this palette, and I could see where this is going to be a favorite for me. Maybe not for work. I certainly could create an all matte look for work, but I have other palettes that I like to do that with. This is a little more fancy every day when I'm off of work look that I think I would like, that's really neutral. But I have to say that I love this palette so far. This is just a first impression. I haven't had this palette on for hours, so I don't know what it's going to wear down like. I'll have to, you know, give you an update on it in some other video. I might just do an overall Tarte update video on some of these palettes that I'm going over, because I really want to get into them quickly and do first impression for you guys in case you are thinking you might want one of these for the holiday season. Get all this out during the month of December for you guys. But I really enjoyed working with this palette, and that hybrid gel foundation, I really enjoyed applying that also. I'm gonna have to keep it on for more hours to tell how it's gonna wear, but overall, I have to say my first impressions on the products have gone awesome. One thing that I did purchase from Tarte that I didn't wear or put on, I just didn't feel like trying one more new product and maybe messing up my eyeshadow look, is these eyeliner, the gel eyeliner. I need to get into this, and maybe when I'm more comfortable with working with the palettes and creating some looks, I will try these out. They come in some beautiful metallic shades. I think it'll be nice to layer these Tarte gel liners on top of the black liner just to add a little pop to my holiday look. So be on the lookout for that when I add these into some of the different impressions and reviews on this palette. But I hope this video was helpful to you and some of the Tarte palettes if you might like it for the holiday season, or maybe even want to gift it to somebody. But if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. You also want to hit the notification bell next to the subscribe button so you get notified every time I upload a new video. See you guys soon.